Open up your MTMT, date it with today's date, title it Writing Equations in Standard Form. When we write equations in standard form, we're going to write it in AX plus BY equals C form. So there's a couple of questions that we need to ask ourselves to make sure that we have an equation in standard form. First, we have to ask ourselves, is the X term on the left, is he first, and is he positive? Secondly, we have to ask, is the Y term second? He should also be on the left. Then we're looking for an equal sign. Then we're looking for a C term on the right side of the equal sign. We need to make sure that A, B, and C are all integers. Again, that means there's not going to be any fractions in our standard form. And the greatest common factor for A, B, and C all need to be 1. So let's go ahead and practice. So our first equation, we're going to ask ourselves, 3x plus 2y is equal to 6. So is the x term first? Yes, the 3x is first. He's positive and he's on the left side. The y term is on the left side and he's second. Then we see an equal sign, and then our c is 6 and he's on the right side of the equal sign. We don't have any fractions, and the greatest common factor for 3, 2, and 6 is 1. So this one is already in standard form. Let's look at equation number 2. Is the x term on the left? Well, it's not. So the only way that we can get it on the left is to zero pair. So we're going to go ahead and add 3x, and we're going to add 3x. Now, you have the power to determine whether you're going to write the 3x first or the y first, because commutative property of addition tells us we can write it either way. We want the 3x term first, so we're going to write it first. 3x plus y is equal to 4. So let's go through the rest of our questions. Is the x term on the left? Yes. Is he first? Yes. Is he positive? Yes. Is the y term on the left? Yes. Is he second? Yes. Is there an equal sign? Yes. Is the c term on the right? Yes. Now we need to look. There are no fractions, so that's good. They're all integers. Yes. And the greatest common factor of 3, 1, and 4 is 1. So now we have it in standard form. All right, the first thing we're going to look for is our x term. Is the x term on the left? It's not. So we're going to go ahead and use symmetrical property to get it on the left. So it's going to be 1/2 x is equal to 1/3 y minus 2. Now, is the y on the left? He's not, so we're going to go ahead and zero pair him and get him over on the left. Again, you determine which term is going to be written first. Now, this is subtraction, so we would have to add a line, change the sign, but you could do that. But we want the x term to be first. So it's going to be 1/2 x minus 1/3 y is equal to -2. So now our x term is on the left. He's first, he's positive. The y term second, he's on the left. We have an equal sign. And then we have a c, which is -2. So now we're going to check. We don't have all integers. So what we're going to do is look for the least common multiple of 2 and 3, which is going to be 6. So we're going to multiply the entire equation, each term, by 6. So that's now going to give us 3x minus 2y is equal to -12. 3, 2, and 12, the greatest common factor is 1. So now we have it in standard form. Now we're going to look at this one. We have the 5x, so we have the x term first. He's on the left and he's positive. We don't have a y term. We have a y squared term. Because we have the y squared term, this cannot be written as standard form. So no standard form for this equation. Now we're going to look at the next one. Is the x on the left? He's not, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to use symmetrical to rewrite it. 4x is equal to 8 plus y. Now we need to get the y term second. So we're going to go ahead and zero pair out the y term. So it's going to be 4x minus y is equal to 8. The x term is first, he's on the left, and he's positive. The y term is second, he's on the left, then there's an equal sign, then our c term is 8, and it's on the right. They're all integers. Greatest common factor is 1. We've got it in standard form. We're going to look for our x term, so we do have a negative 6x. It is on the left, but our problem is this xy term. We don't have any room for an xy term in standard form. So anytime we see an xy term, there's going to be no standard form that we can put it into. Now, we're going to look at our next equation. 4x minus 8 is equal to 2y. Our x term is on the left. He's first and he's positive. Now, we need to get the 8 on the other side. So we're going to go ahead and zero pair out the 8. So we now have 4x is equal to 2y plus 8. Now we have to get the y term on the left side. So we're going to zero pair out the y term. So we're going to have 4x minus 2y is equal to 8. Now be careful. A lot of people would stop here and say we're in standard form, but we're not, because the greatest common factor for 4, 2, and 8 is 2. So we're going to have to divide every single term by 2. So our answer is going to be 2x minus y is equal to 4. And that's our standard form. All right, let's do the next one. Now this equation, we need to zero pair out the 5 to get him over. He is part of the c constants. And we have y is equal to 6. Now some people would say that that's not in standard form, but it actually is, because we can write it as 0x plus y is equal to 6. And that would be in standard form. It's okay if the a or the b in your standard form is 0. Now both of them cannot be 0, but one of them can. So y equals 6 is in standard form. We add a line and change the sign to our minus 6 over here on number 9. We're going to go ahead and zero pair out our 6. So we have x is equal to 16. Again, some people would say, nope, that's not standard form. But it is, because you can write x plus 0y is equal to 16. And remember we said the a or the b could be 0 and it could still be in standard form. So because that is in standard form, then we have x is equal to 16 in standard form. And that's how you write an equation in standard form.